Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. And as you guys have seen by the title, in this video we're going to be talking about the ARS, the air roll spin. Now the ARS has come about and a lot of you guys have been asking to see this video, but first off I just wanted to do a comparison to show you guys exactly how different the ARS is to the backflip. Now when we look at this ARS, we're going to look at it side by side with a backflip maneuver, going back and forth to show you guys exactly how different these are, and then we'll get back into the video. So when we look at this, there's going to be two main things that I want to focus on. The first is head movement and where the head is going to be. And then secondly, we're going to focus on what the body is doing and how the position of the board is different in both maneuvers. So as we scrub through this, I've got a backflip on the bottom and an ARS on the top. Both of these clips have been seen by you guys over the years, but I just want to show you guys exactly where the comparison is and how these two moves differ. So at the top, you can see my approach to the ARS is a lot more vertical. I'm going to be going kind of through the lip and I try and flip and rotate out. Whereas the backflip, I've actually come from around the section and I'm hitting the backflip and going with the wave. So as you can see here, the two positions. At this point here, I've left the lip. First off on the backflip, you can see my head straight back into the flipping motion. And I'm actually going to come down and land that flip going straight over my head. You can see the position of my head here right back. Whereas on the ARS, I'm starting to do the roll maneuver first. As I come a little bit further here, the roll maneuver is done on this top section here, and I'm actually pulling the board towards the wave more. Here on the backflip, still just rotating over my head. And then as we come in here, you can see the board still very straight. Over here though, we can see I'm starting to get into the spin. And as we talk about the ARS more, this will make a lot more sense to you. On the landings though, both pretty much the same, quite a heavy landing. When it comes here, you can see that both of my feet, watch the position of what it would be the outside foot when you're actually on the wave, that'll just touch the water ever so slightly here. And again, at the top, you can see it touches the water ever so slightly there. And that actually forces me to come around and to spin around. In the last video, I asked if you guys would like to see an example of my coaching. And this is basically it. This is what I do. I go through your footage. I look at where you're doing certain things right and where you're doing wrong, and I will be in the top screen like I was in this comparison between the ARS and the backflip. This is a brilliant way for you guys to perform at a higher level and get to be the best you can on your bodyboard. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. If you are, feel free to leave a like or comment anything down below that you would like to see in future videos, but I'll let you guys continue with this one. So now that we've gone through and shown you the difference between the ARS and the backflip, I just want to talk more about the ARS and the actual rotation and how this all goes about. So there are four main things that you really want to focus on when you are doing these ARSs. The first is that it's going to be the same starting rotation as it would be for the roll. That means when you go up to hit that section, you're actually going to go off the section and start the roll. And when you're about 3/4 of the way through, that is when the second step is going to come in and you're actually going to pull the board towards the wave. This is going to start you into your spin rotation and actually end off the roll and start the spin at the same time. And that is what is going to either allow you to land backwards or do a full rotation, which I'm sure you've seen. The third step is going to be the rotation of your head. Now, when we are doing spins and rolls and even backflips, that head rotation is very vital in getting the move done and getting it done correctly and spinning it around at the quickest motion that you can. With the back flips, you saw my head rotation at the start is completely back. It's completely back and the board is actually rotating over my head. Whereas in the ARS, you're going to be wanting to roll, so your head is actually going to be looking over the shoulder more than looking straight back. So the focus on this is to look over the shoulder. As soon as you 3/4 of the way through the roll, you're going to actually bring your whole body, and as soon as you move your head, it's going to go across the shoulder, and that is what's going to force the board to start to spin. You're either going to land backwards or get more of a rotation and then come around. The fourth step is to keep your legs crossed. This is going to allow you to spin a lot faster when you actually land back on the wave. And even to start the spinning rotation, this will keep you centered on the board, keep your weight evenly distributed over the entire board, and will stop you from catching rails or digging the tail at all during this move. Now that we've gone through these 4 steps, let's jump into some video review and I'll show you guys exactly the steps as we go through these videos. Going into step 1, I just want to tell you guys that this is basically a roll with a slight variation towards the end. The easiest way to think about this is to watch this video here, and this is a POV of an ARS I did a couple months ago. Now as you go into this, you're looking at the same section, which would be this section here, and that's going to be where you want to perform this roll or the start of the ARS. You're going to go up to this section here, pushing your board through to gain momentum, and then that's going to send you over. Now this movement here, you can see we are halfway over, and that movement is so much like the roll that you guys have seen before. But when we get to about 3/4 of the way, around about here, we're going to start to pull the nose of the board towards the wave and initiate that spin. Then we're going to be landing, and with the momentum of the wave, it spins you around very quickly. So in step 2, we're going to look to pull the nose of the board towards the wave. Now when we look at this clip here, you can clearly see, we're going up for that first rotation that we've just spoken about, the roll. When we get to about this point, which is halfway to 3/4 of the way through, you're actually going to be using your inside hand to pull it towards the wave. This here is the motion that I'm talking about, pulling the board this direction so that you're actually going in towards the wave a little bit more. And this is going to start the spin rotation. And with the step 3, with your head movement turning over to your shoulder, this is going to really help you to perform the start of that spin and keep your momentum going throughout this maneuver. Remember that you want to keep all your weight as centered over the board in this movement so that when you land the spin, you are still spinning around and you can still get that finish of the move as you come around with that little foot in the water to bring you all the way straight again. Going into step 3, I really want to emphasize the use of head movement. We've spoken about this through all the other moves, and it is a fundamental in getting these maneuvers done correctly. When you go up and you've finished your roll maneuver and we are starting to turn towards the wave, your head positioning is going to be what keeps the momentum of your body traveling around and will help you spin at the end. When we go through this one, this POV, we can actually see where the head is going. Once we are 3/4 of the way around here, my head actually starts to look over the shoulder. And this is very important to start that spin rotation. And when we get to this point here, when we're about to land, my eyes are already, and my head positioning is already looking around to complete this spin. Once you have landed, you'll see that the head positioning is still looking the other way all the way through until I get to this point here where I'm kind of facing the beach and I can feel the wave is behind me pushing me. And that is where you really want to just ride out and make your claim. And lastly, in step 4, when we go through, we've done all the moves that we needed to. Step 1, 2, and 3, and then on the 4th here, you're going to want to cross your legs. Make sure that those legs stay crossed. This helps bring all your weight over the center of the board and not too much on the tail or too much on the nose. This really helps you to stop yourself from digging a rail into the wave, or alternatively, it stops you from digging the tail. Any weight that you have over the edge of the board will actually pull the board down and allow water to go over the tail and stop your motion completely. But keeping those legs crossed, as soon as you've hit the water and you can feel yourself sliding again, remember that the outside foot at the start of the wave is going to be what's going to help you to flick around. Just a simple tap in the water will get the momentum swinging your body around, and that's a completed move. So guys, that is the ARS. This is probably one of the most asked for videos that I've had in the how-to or tutorial series. Over the past 2 years, I've put a lot of these videos out there and you guys have been loving them, and I really appreciate the support. If you guys want to go and check out any more of the tutorial videos, click up here. Otherwise, at the end of this video, you will see a pop-up screen with the entire list of tutorials that you guys can go through. If you have any more questions, please feel free to drop them down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please hit the thumbs up button, as well as subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell so you guys can get notified first. And we will see you in the next video.